Folks, we're on record. Let's see what we have.
Morning.
Morning, Magistrate.
Morning, all. We have no files yet, so please be patient.
Always.
Dr. Coyle, you're always patient. Yes, ma'am.
Attorney Hall will be on.
Who?
Attorney Hall from our office, Perfidia, and she's gonna need to interview 2 of the Wayne counties. But
Which
2 are-
one?
2 are already done. So she's gonna interview George Mathis and Naisha Davis. So 20 and 21 on the second page.
Okay.
And
Are you ready to do the other 2, which is Brooks and Gillum?
yes, those 2 are ready.
All right, so let's go. Okay.
Okay.
You ready?
Let's see who we have. The gentleman in room E12.
Sir.
What's your name, sir?
George Mathis.
Mr. Macklis, you have to speak to defense counsel. I'm waiting for the defense counsel to come in, so please be patient. Okay, let's
Yes, ma'am.
see. We have some, okay, thank you, sir. All right, we have the person in room D22, Wayne County. What's your name? D22? Please unmute.
Morning, Your Honor.
Good morning. The one in CJC 2D22, please turn on your video and please unmute. That person is not responding. Let's see the other person. The other person is CJC D5F11. Please unmute. Please turn on your video. All right, so let's see. All right, the gentleman with the officer, and the officer has glasses. What is your name, sir?
This is Naisha Davis.
Okay, Aisha Davis, and has to be interviewed with defense counsel. We're waiting for defense counsel to log in. So we have another person. Looks like 5F11, the one who's sitting down with his hands between the legs.
Joe Stillis Brooks.
Your name?
Joe Stillis
All right,
Brooks.
Mr.
Sr.
Brooks. Thank you, Mr. Brooks. Oh, wait a minute. I can't. I thought I was gonna do some arraignments, but I can't because I have no files. I apologize. And I apologize, Counsel Roberts.
No problem. We're
Thank
ready
you.
when you are.
Okay. Counsel Roberts,
Yes.
do you know when Counsel Hall is chiming in?
Let me follow up on that right now.
Yes, because we got two and we could use this time to do the interviews.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. And folks, we're still on record, so let's see who we have. Do we have an Arlene Green? Raise your right hand. Okay, thank you, Ms. Green. You've already talked to defense counsel today? Okay. Young lady in the back, what's your name, ma'am? Okay, she's your mom. Okay, so you're here to support her. Okay. And you, ma'am, what's your name?
Here, Alexander.
Here, Alexander. It's Alexander.
Yeah.
Have you been interviewed by defense counsel today?
Yes.
Okay, so we'll just wait till we get your files, and then also we can do the arraignments. So ladies, thank you for your patience. Just remember, cell phones, as Officer Kelly has said, turn them off, no recording. Otherwise, they can be confiscated and you may not get them back. Okay. Officer Kelly, have you checked to see when we're getting any files? I appreciate, especially if we can do Gillum, Brooks.
Yeah, I didn't hear you.
It'd be nice if we can do Gillum and Brooks, or we can do the two walk-ins. We get the files. Right. Just be patient, folks. Davis, raise your right hand. Okay. Council Hall,
Good morning, yes, Your
ready to
Honor.
go into a breakout room?
Yes.
Okay. Ms. Hall, Davis, put your hand down. We'll put you in with the defendant, Davis. This is D22. I believe they have not, that person has not been interviewed. And then there is, who else? Mackless also. So let's do Davis. All right. All right, so after that. So we have some files.
They said they only see one weekend. They don't see the other.
Let's see. The other one being Alexander.
Yeah, they said they don't.
You don't, well, she's on the list, so somebody. Okay. Somebody has to do that. Miss Alexander,
Yes,
did you check in?
yes, I checked in.
Okay, and you were already interviewed, correct?
I was already
Okay.
interviewed.
Did you get fingerprinted today or not?
Huh?
Did you get fingerprinted today?
No, I did not. She
Okay.
asked-
Have you been fingerprinted?
Yes, I have.
Okay. Well, we're just gonna have to wait until they find your file. It's Green.
Yes.
Come on forward. All right, folks. All right, Ms. Green, please say your full name. Hey, Ms. Green, your case number is 240-4534-101. You have an attorney. Go ahead, counsel.
Good morning, Your Honor. Anthony Roberts, P76414, appearing on behalf of Ms. Green, who's been advised of her rights, will stay on mute. Ask court to enter plea of not guilty on her behalf.
You have an entry plea of not guilty. Court date is December 4th, 2024. It is a pretrial in front of Judge Jones. All right, Ms. Green, let's see. Let's see, Counsel Vincent, go ahead as to bond, please.
Thank you, Magistrate. Good morning. Steve Vincent, P71917. Originally, Magistrate, this matter had been arraigned by you earlier this year in May. Attached to this failure to stop personal injury report was also a felonious assault, excuse me, as well as a domestic violence. You had issued a $50,000 cash assurity with a tether. It went up to redetermination and it was converted to a 50,000 personal and no tether. The way I see it, Magistrate, a couple of weeks later at exam, the case was dismissed because the complaining witness failed to appear. And this must be a reissue just for this specific charge, the failure to stop the personal injury report. Judge, it's being charged as a misdemeanor. The FA and the DV, it doesn't look like that they're going to be pursued by the prosecutor's office. So at this time, we're not going to be objecting to a personal bond.
And
No
I know
objection.
Council Roberts, yes, it's not gonna be objecting to a personal bond. So Ms. Green, in this particular matter, bond is gonna be a $25,000 personal bond. That means nobody has to pay any money for you to get out of jail, but you're gonna have to wait in the audience so you can get your paperwork, okay? Thank you, ma'am.
Your Honor, which judge is this assigned to?
Judge Jones,
Thank you, Your Honor.
thank you. Let's see, Brooks. Is there a Brooks here?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Mr. Brooks, raise your right hand. Mr. Brooks, raise your right hand. Okay. Mr. Brooks, you were interviewed by defense counsel today?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, let's go. Please say your full name.
Joe Stillis, DeMarco Brooks Senior.
Thank you. Sir, Magistrate check that, case number 2406058-201, sir. You have an attorney. Go ahead, counsel.
Good morning, Amber Roberts, P76414, appearing on behalf of Mr. Brooks, who's been advised of his rights, will stand mute, ask the court to enter plea of not guilty on his behalf.
Enter plea of not guilty. Court dates are December 2nd, 2024. Probable cause conference followed by preliminary examination December 9th, 2024. Both matters are in front of Judge Jefferson. Mr. Brooks, while this case is pending, there's no assault for combative behavior. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
This is from November 14th. He has local ties. Council Ragnan, you're here for the people. And if it is, give me your recommendation, sir.
Well, good morning, Your Honor. Samuel A. Reagan, P23-157 on behalf of the people. Good morning. Your Honor, I believe there's a felony habeas on this matter from 5/19/22 for $3,500, 10%. If that is the case.
There's a habeas on this,
The people will not be.
Mr. Brooks? This just happened November 14th. Do we have the same case?
See here. Well, I looked it up and that's exactly what I'm looking at right now.
What's the charge?
No, this is an older charge. It's a charge, he's got a number
No,
of.
this is from November 14th, 2024, Council Ragnan.
And the charge is, Your Honor?
Resisting and obstructing habitual fourth offense notice.
Well, then we would be asking for $25,000 personal bond plus a tether with home arrest. He's got an extensive record.
So whether the extensive record, is that assaultive?
Well, he has charges for being, this one case is pending is for being assaulted that he has a habeas bond on.
Well, so
But,
he has a pending case?
no, I'm sorry, Your Honor, this case is an older case. So no, all I can ask for is personal bond, $25,000, and we're asking, he's to have four, we're asking for a tether with home arrest unless he has a job with a curfew. Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, so my question is why the GPS tether?
Well, the reason, I think that he's the assaultive case, number one, but number two, it's also, he's got 3 other prior felony convictions, which I apparently cannot see at this point, but I believe that's the reason why having a tether would be appropriate.
Okay, well, the 3 prior cases are from 2001 and 1990 that I see, and none of those are assaultive. He has local ties.
Well, then we'll just
Okay.
ask for the 25,000.
Okay. Mr. Brooks, bond is gonna be $25,000 personal bond. Nobody has to pay any money for you to get out of jail. And Council Roberts, you're not objecting, correct?
Correct. I'm just asking his file be marked medical while he's there, Your Honor.
DDC can, excuse me, County, can you mark Mr. Brooks' file medical?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. That concludes Mr. Brooks' arraignment.
Sorry about that, Your Honor, Ms. Roberts. Thank you.
That's all right.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Now, I have no more files, so we just have to wait.
We're in fine, that works. You just completed that, right?
Okay. And
He's signed out.
let's see, Council Hall, are you ready to do Mr. Mackless?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Mackless, raise your right hand. Thank you.
Still waiting for my review.
We'll put you in a breakout room. You can talk to defense counsel. Mr. Brooks? Raise your right hand. Okay, he's Mr. Brooks. Or the gentleman in D22, your name.
See. Oh, nice is Nate Davis. Sorry about that, Your Honor.
What's your name, sir?
I'm a female. Nice is Chanel Davis.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, ma'am. These are all. Okay. All right, let's do Davis. Ms. Davis, what's your full name?
Naisha Shanae Davis.
Thank you. Ms. Davis, this is Magistrate Chartea. Not only do you have a criminal matter, but you also have some misdemeanor matters. These are misdemeanor matters where you did not show up for court. You're going to get, one, we're going to recall the warrants. Two, you're going to get a personal bond. That means nobody has to pay any money for you to get out of jail. Three, okay, the maximum penalty on each misdemeanor is up to 93 days jail and or $500 fine. Do you understand what I've said so far?
Yes, I do.
All right, first ticket is P1583858, indecent exposure. Next ticket is P1606450, possession of drug paraphernalia prohibited. Last ticket is P1625137, supplying false information and or ID police officer. Court is going to enter a plea of not guilty. And let's see who this is going to go in front of. The court date is November 21st, 2024. In front of Judge Sherman at 9 o'clock. Ms. Davis, you have a right to remain silent. Anything you say orally or in writing that can be used against you in the court of law. Right to an attorney, have that attorney present during questioning. If you're unable to afford an attorney, one will be appointed for you, court expense. Understand those rights?
Yes, I do.
All right, Ms. Davis, now let's go with criminal matter, case number 240-448-5301. Please say your full name again, ma'am.
Naisha Shanae Davis.
All right, you have an attorney, go ahead, counsel.
Good morning. Annabelle Roberts appearing on behalf of Ms. Davis, who's been advised of her rights, will stay on mute. We ask the court to enter plea of not guilty on her behalf.
Thank you. Financial plea of not guilty. Court date is December 4th, 2024. Pre-trial in front of Judge Bryant. Okay, let's see what we have here. Okay. I would indicate November 18, 2024. And that was just a couple of days ago. A warrant was issued for Ms. Davis. A bond was set at $1,000, 10%. Council Vincent, you're here for the people?
Thank you, Magistrate. Steve Vincent, P 71917. Just to quickly go over the procedural history in this case. So the defendant was arraigned June 6th of this year, given a personal bond. At the first pretrial hearing, she failed to appear. Now, per that ACLU agreement, apparently defendants in misdemeanor cases can't be capious on the first failure to appear. So the case was rescheduled, the pretrial, to August 12th. She failed to appear again. That's where she was given a capious of $1,000, 10%. She was arraigned on that capious matter, ironically, with you, October
I know,
20.
I see the paper. Yeah, I see
Yeah.
the paperwork. And then
So
she came up with November 18th. So what's
Right.
your recommendation?
We're either going to ask you to continue this, or in lieu of the cash, we would ask you for monitorization. Now, this is the third failure to appear with 2 capiouses attached to those.
Thank you. Council Roberts?
Your Honor, this being a misdemeanor before the Honorable Judge Bryan, I believe the court does possibly have the discretion to change on, and I would ask you to do so. My client indicates she's missed court because of homelessness. She doesn't have a phone, but she will come to court in person, Your Honor. We would ask that you possibly give her another chance. 44 years old, to indicate she is a lifetime resident of the state of Michigan. So based upon the charge before the court, this being a misdemeanor and my client's explanation, I would just ask for reconsideration and a personal bond.
Court's heard the representations, both sides, this particular matter. Court does have the ability to modify or have the authorization to modify this cash 10% bond. Court is not going to do it in this particular matter. We're going to keep it at $1,000, 10%. That means it's unaffordable, correct, Council Roberts?
Possibly, Your Honor. She thinks she might be able to pay that. So,
Well, let's put it as unaffordable. Does she meet the 200% guideline?
my client,
She's homeless.
yeah, and she works, but she also receives government assistance. So I'm going to say, based upon receiving government assistance, that the court should take that into consideration.
Okay, then bond redetermination is for this Friday, November 22nd, 2024, 9 o'clock in front of Judge McConnell or Judge Williams, who will look at the bond amount and any bond conditions. That concludes Ms. Davis's arraignment.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. All right, let's go with Alexander. Kiera Alexander, come on forward. And we should have another one. Wayne County. Bless you.
Thank you.
Here we go. Ma'am, please say your full name.
Yes, my name is Kiera Alexander.
A full name.
Oh, sorry, Kiera Mia Alexander.
Thank you, ma'am. I'm Magistrate Charte. As you see, I've been here. Your case number is 240-4595-801. You have an attorney. Go ahead, counsel.
Deborah Roberts, appearing on behalf of Ms. Alexander, has been advised of her rights. Will stay on mute. Ask the court to enter a plea of not guilty on her behalf.
I'm gonna enter a plea of not guilty. Court date is December 4th, 2024. It is a pre-trial in front of Judge Bryant. Ms. Alexander, this case is pending. You have some bond conditions. One, you're not to possess any weapons or any other dangerous, you're not to possess any weapons, any firearms, or any other dangerous weapons. You understand that? There's no drinking of any alcoholic beverages, and there's no driving without a valid driver's license. Do you understand that also? Those bond conditions. So, putting this paper, I'm putting the information on your paperwork. So bear with me, ma'am. All right. And Counsel Coyle, are you here?
I am. Good morning, Your Honor. Lisa Coyle appearing on behalf of the people. Good morning, Ms. Roberts. Your Honor, there's no KPS history on this. I agree with all the conditions that you've imposed. She had an 11 on her breath. She has a CPL, but now that would be, she cannot carry, as the court has indicated. So I have no objection to a $20,000 personal bond in this matter, as long as she has, and she can drive as long as she has a valid license, Your Honor.
No
That being
objection.
said, ma'am, thank you. With that being said, you get a $20,000 personal bond. Nobody has to pay any money for you to get out of jail. Do you understand that, ma'am? All right, now all you gotta do is just take a seat in the audience so that you can get your paperwork. Thank you. Alexander. Okay. let's see. Mackless,
Yes, ma'am.
raise your right hand. Thank you. Mr. Mackless, this is Magistrate Chadapaya. And Mr. Mackless, not only do you have criminal matter, but you have a number of misdemeanor matters. These misdemeanor matters where you did not show up for court. And just so you understand, you can put your hand down, Mr. Mackless. Thank you. Just want to make sure. And let's see. Misdemeanor matters, court is going to enter a plea of not guilty. Maximum penalty is up to 93 days jail and a $500 fine. Okay, all these misdemeanor matters. Let's see, we're going to recall the warrant. You're going to get a personal bond. Nobody has paying money for you to get out of jail. Let's go with P 1491063, drawn while life suspended. Next one is P 1218686. Driving under a untitled vehicle, no insurance misdemeanor. Next ticket is P 1218799. Driving while life suspended. Next ticket is P 1440158. Driving while life suspended. Next ticket is P 1495641. Driving while life suspended, no insurance misdemeanor. Next ticket is P 1500452. No insurance misdemeanor. Next ticket is P 1500453. Driving while license suspended. Next ticket is P 1515565. Driving while license suspended. Driving under a untitled vehicle, no insurance misdemeanor. Next ticket is P 1518005. Driving while license suspended. Driving under a untitled vehicle, no insurance misdemeanor. Next ticket is P 1570981. Driving while license suspended. Driving under a untitled vehicle, no insurance misdemeanor. Next ticket is P 1573582. Driving while license suspended. Repeat offender. Reckless driving. Driving under a untitled vehicle in the school zone. Next ticket is P 1575795. Driving under a untitled vehicle, no insurance misdemeanor. Driving while license suspended. Repeat offender. Next ticket is P 1579421. No insurance misdemeanor. Driving while license suspended. Next ticket is P 1588314. Driving while license suspended. No insurance misdemeanor. Driving under a untitled vehicle. Next ticket is P 841531. Driving while license not valid or improper license. Next ticket is U 426970808. Disorderly conduct, urinating in public. And last ticket is 136299190. No opposite license possession, no insurance misdemeanor. Court is going to enter a plea of not guilty. Court date is December 19, 2024, 9 o'clock. Let's see who this is in front of. In front of Judge Wagner. Okay. Mr. Mackless, you have a right to remain silent. Anything you say or in legal writing, it can be used against in a court of law. Right to an attorney, have that attorney present during questioning. If you're unable to afford an attorney, one will be appointed for you, court expense. Understand those rights, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now let's go with your criminal matter. Please say your full name, sir.
George Leon Mackless.
Thank you, sir. Your case number is 24060534001, sir. You have an attorney. Go ahead, counsel.
Anvil Roberts, appearing on behalf of Mr. Mackless, has been advised of his rights. Will stay on mute. We ask the court to enter plea of not guilty on his behalf.
Thank you. I'm going to enter plea of not guilty. Court dates are December 2nd, Let me repeat that, December 2nd, 2024, probable cause conference followed by preliminary examination, December 9th, 2024. Both matters are in front of Judge Sabri. Mr. Macklis, while this case is pending, you are not to have any contact with Veronica Williams. That means no person-to-person contact, no contact to third parties, no phone calls, no emails, no text messaging. Let's see, anything else? You're not to have any firearms or any other dangerous weapons. You understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right, Counsel Coyle, you're here on behalf of the people. Go ahead, ma'am, it's Bond.
I am, Your Honor. Lisa Coyle, appearing on behalf of the people. Your Honor, I do note this alleged CSC1 occurred back in September of 2012 with the complainant, Ms. Williams, who at the time, the defendant was alleged to be her ex-boyfriend. It is assaultive in that he punched her, forced sex on her. She did then go tell a friend immediately right after that that she had raped her, and then she ran from him. She went to Henry Ford Hospital that same day. Excuse me, a rape kit had been completed. At the time of the assault, there were recorded medical injuries, tenderness all over the body, bruising and abrasion to the back, all over 3 different areas on the back, the buttocks, and the right arm. She also had bruising and swelling to her right eye and her lower lip, Your Honor. I do know as far as his past criminal history, it goes back to 1989, but the only thing I see assaultive is a 2014 felonious assault, which he received 3 years probation, first year Wayne County Jail. It is not the same victim on that felonious assault as it is in this matter, Your Honor. So I do note that the CODIS hit was in 2013, probably when he was arrested for the felonious assault. The confirmation was obtained on the buccal swab from this defendant not until October 29th of this year, Your Honor. So it's not a flight basis for asking for a bond, Your Honor, but more of a danger to the community now that we know this. I'm going to ask for a 50,000, 10% with the tether house arrest. I do understand Mr. Macklis is 64. He hasn't picked up any cases since the 2014 felonious assault that I am aware of. I do not see anything that he's had any further incidents with or confrontations with the complainant in this matter, Your Honor. But I am asking based on the severity of the allegations for that bond. I know that 12 years has passed since these allegations have occurred. So I'm well aware. So if the court is going to give a personal, then I would stress that a tether house arrest would be more than appropriate. But although I'm asking, I'm asking for some cash in this matter, Your Honor.
Thank you. Counsel Roberts, go ahead, ma'am.
John, I would ask the court to consider a personal bond. My client's not able to afford any money for bond at this time. He is working. He does heating, cooling, and plumbing. He also receives government assistance, Your Honor. He is 64 years old, Your Honor. He indicates being a lifetime resident of the state of Michigan. He tells us that he was arrested at home, so I concur in Attorney Coyle that I don't see him as being a flight risk. He's a father of 3. As Attorney Coyle indicated, it's my understanding he's 64 years old. And it is my understanding the complaining witness is an ex-girlfriend of Mr. Macklis, and he tells our office that he has not had contact with her in over 11 years. So I don't believe that contact to be any issue at this time. Because I don't want to see my client possibly lose employment, I would ask for that personal bond and ask the court if you're going to impose a tether to allow him to continue his employment. And I'd have no objection to a no contact order.
Thank you. Based on all the representations, court does consider Mr. Macklis, even though this case is more than 12 years old for the incident. We are going to give him an opportunity, a $50,000 personal bond. However, he's going to be placed on a GPS tether, work only. Even though this is 12 years old, this is still highly assaultive. Mr. Macklis does have a prior assaultive behavior conviction. So we're going to go with that. That concludes the arraignment on Mr. Macklis.
Can I hear the amount one more time, Your Honor, please?
50,000, 50. 000 personal bond, GPS tether work only.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Look at sir. Look at.
Council Roberts,
Yes, Your Honor.
was Gillum, already interviewed?
Yes.
Okay. Gillum, please unmute. D52. CJC. If not, I'm gonna be going to Wayne, to DDC. You're still muted. All right, we're gonna go to DDC. All right. So, DDC, good afternoon, good morning. Good morning, DDC.
Morning, how are you?
Sir, take your hat off, sir. I appreciate it. DDC, do you have a copy of the list, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. I believe we can go down the list.
Your Honor, we've been advised that Mr. Tally number 5 is not at the Detroit Detention Center.
DDC. DDC,
Yes.
is number 5, Christopher Tally, not at DDC? Is that correct? Okay. I don't have a tally. All right, the gentleman at DDC, what's your name, sir?
My name is Enrique Rito Perez, ma'am.
Enrique Perez, what's your middle name, sir?
Fidel.
Fidel, Mr. Perez, I'm Magistrate at Chartag, here criminal matter, case number 24060638001, sir. You do have an attorney. Go ahead, counsel.
Deanna Roberts appearing on behalf of Mr. Perez. He's been advised of his rights. Will stay on mute. Ask the court to enter plea of not guilty on his behalf.
Okay. Mr. Perez, is it Perez or Perez?
Perez. You can, it's different ways to describe it. Spanish or English. Perez is like
How do you prefer it, sir?
Perez in English. I'm sorry.
Mr. Perez. That's all right. All right. Because my name is Echartea, and some people call me Echartea. So it's how you pronounce your last name.
I have that name in Puerto Rico.
Okay, sir. All right, sir. Let's see. Case number is 24060638001. We already went through that. I'm gonna enter plea of not guilty. Court dates are December 2nd, 2024. Probable cause conference followed by preliminary examination, December 9th, 2024. Both matters are in front of Judge Taylor. Okay, Mr. Perez. Okay, let's see. Bond conditions, you're not to have contact with the Joseph Fernari. That means no person-to-person contact, no contact with third parties, no phone calls, no emails, no text messaging. Let me put this down. It's not on your paperwork. Okay. Yeah, do not possess any firearms or any other dangerous weapons. Let's see what else. Let's see, local ties. Okay, Council Coyle, go ahead, Esteban, please.
Was he arraigned? I'm sorry. Okay. Lisa Coyle appearing on behalf of the people, Your Honor. The people in this matter are asking for 25,000 cash surety tether house arrest. I do note that Mr. Perez is 18 years old. He does not have a criminal history in this matter. I also note that it was charged armed robbery in the alternative larceny from a person. And as the court can see from reading the IR, that it isn't the complaint in this matter, Mr. Bernari, is also 18 years old. It appears that he may have been less than credible when speaking to the police initially, that this may be over actually the sale of that weapon to the complainant, and that he took some money from the complainant using a weapon that was in the car. They did what to corroborate Mr. Ferrari's account of the events the second time was a video which the police spoke to him about. Also, they executed a search warrant which they found 40 and 44 caliber live rounds, a black magazine with 9mm rounds, a blue steel revolver, and there was also a 44 round found in the glove box of that vehicle. Your Honor, I'm asking for that cash surety bond and a tether house arrest as well.
Thank you. Council Roberts, go ahead, ma'am.
Your Honor, the court has had an opportunity to review the investigator's report. I do believe it is clear that there is credibility issues that's identified in the investigator's report, where the author of this report makes a statement of how his statement did not match. And that's important, Your Honor. I think it's important for the court to take into consideration the credibility of the person making the accusation. And based on that, Your Honor, being my client is 18 years old, he indicates to us no prior criminal convictions, that he is currently working, Your Honor. He works as a high-low driver, 6 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. He's also in the process of getting his GED. He currently resides with his mother and his grandmother. He indicates being a lifetime resident of the city of Detroit. I would just ask, even though these are serious charges before the court, that the court consider giving him a chance, giving him a personal bond so that he does not lose his employment as long as there's a no contact order.
Thank you. Courts heard the representations. Both sides. Court uses clear and convincing evidence standard when it's entertaining a monetary bond. We started off with the personal bond basis. Look, based on the allegations in the investigator's report, as well as the arguments, this court does find Mr. Bettis still a danger, okay, in this particular matter. So the court is going to adopt a portion of the recommendation, $25,000 cash surety, okay, as opposed to doing a remand under court rule 6.106. If that was really in terms of available, it is, but I don't know whether or not the guilt is evident or presumption is great, okay, because there are some credibility issues, but it's enough in this matter. We're not going to put a GPS tether on him, and it's going to be on a portable bond. Is that correct, counsel?
Yes, Your Honor. He's not able to post anything for bond at this time.
Okay, that means he's going to get a court date this Friday, November 22nd. 9 o'clock in front of Judge McConaughey or Judge Williams. He'll look at the bond amount and bond conditions.
Thank you.
So Mr. Bettis, if you don't make bond between now and Friday, you'll get another court date in front of another judge, and they'll look at your bond amount and bond conditions. Do you understand that, sir? Do you understand that?
Yes, I understand that.
Okay. Thank you, sir. That concludes your arraignment.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Did they ask you your name yet?
Curtis Evans.
What's your name, sir?
Curtis Evans.
Mr. Eddings, this is Magistrate Charpin. Is it Curtis Matthew Eddings, sir?
I got like 2 or 3 cases before me.
Sir, is it Curtis Matthew Eddings?
Yes.
Okay, Mr. Eddings, okay, you're here on a criminal matter. Can you hear me, sir?
Yes.
Okay, your case number is 24060633701, sir. You have an attorney. Go ahead, counsel.
Angela Roberts, appearing on behalf of Mr. Adams, who's been advised of his rights, will stand mute as the court enter plea of not guilty on his behalf.
Thank you. I'm gonna enter plea of not guilty. Court dates are December 2nd, 2024, probable cause conference, followed by preliminary examination, December 9th, 2024. Both matters are in front of Judge Jefferson. Mr. Eddings, while this case is pending, you're not to have any contact with the Jermaine King. That means no person-to-person contact, no contact to third parties, no phone calls, no emails, no text messaging. You're not to possess any firearms or any other dangerous weapons. Counsel Vincent, you're here on behalf of the people.
Thank you, Magistrate. Steve Vincent, P 71917. The way it's charged in the allegations before the court, we're going to be asking for a 10%. There is a level of danger here where we have the defendant allegedly not just firing a firearm that he's unlawfully possessing, but apparently pointing it at the individuals as well. Albeit because there was a group of people that were getting into a fight. I think defendant took it upon himself to get to that fight and maybe break it up, maybe not. But just his actions created a danger. Just one note, Magistrate. I know on the information it's a HAB second offense notice. I put a note in the file. It should actually be a habitual fourth offense notice. This defendant has 3 prior felony convictions, which means, I believe, that count 2 weapons firearm possession by a prohibited person with enhancement could potentially be a life offense. So with all of that being said, we're going to be asking for the cash.
What are the prior convictions other than what I see non-assaultive?
I
The
have
other two?
I have an 02 felony attempt larceny, a 2011 felony fleeing third degree, and I have a 2012 felony controlled substance delivery manufacture less than 50.
Okay, so all those convictions are more than 10 years old, correct?
That's absolutely correct. But I think the most recent one is about 12 years old.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Counsel Roberts, go ahead, please.
Your Honor, my client indicates that he's a lifetime resident of the state of Michigan, that he's a father of 4. He's currently residing with his mother. Your Honor, it's my understanding he's 43 years old. He is working. He works 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Sunday. Not able to post any money for bond at this particular time. He's a high school graduate, Your Honor. It's my understanding that he does not know the complaining witness, so I'll be seeking a personal bond as long as there's a no contact order, and I believe that to be sufficient in this matter. I would just indicate, it's my understanding that Mr. Eddings is indicating he's been in custody since Saturday at 3 p.m.
Thank you, ma'am. Okay. Court's heard the representations of both sides. Court uses clear and convincing evidence standard and it's entertaining a monetary bond. We started off with a personal bond basis. Allegedly is allegations in the investigative report whether he pointed or did not point a firearm because there was a large fight. Supposedly shot, fired 2 shots in the air, allegedly before pointing a firearm at some individuals. I don't see anybody that went to the hospital. And Counsel Vincent, other than this case, the other convictions are non-assault, correct?
That's correct, Magistrate.
Okay, and they're more than 10 years old, correct?
I have them spanning from 02 to 12, but to answer your question, yes.
Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna give Mr. Eddings an opportunity because Mr. Eddings should know you are not to possess any firearms of any kind. You've already been through the criminal justice system, sir, more than once. So I'm gonna give you a $50,000 personal bond. However, with that being said, supposedly allegedly pointing a firearm at individuals, even though if the allegation was to break up a fight, one, shouldn't have a firearm, two, you shouldn't have pointed at anybody. So we're gonna put him on a GPS tether, work only. And Counsel Roberts, you said he does work, correct?
Yes, Your Honor, it's my understanding he washes cars. He works 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Sunday. And the only other thing, oh, go ahead, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead, ma'am.
I was gonna say, while he's awaiting tether, I don't know if we can mark his file medical, just in case he needs a medical treatment to a previous surgery that he had in January.
Has he been denied medical treatment, ma'am?
I'm not aware of that, Your Honor. I just want to make sure that maybe we can just mark it medical, just in case.
DDC, can you mark Mr. Eddings' file medical? Mr. Eddings, you can step aside, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
I think we have Mr. Gillum, Your Honor, if the court wants to call him.
We had tried earlier before we went to DDC. The gentleman at DDC, what's your name, sir?
Giovanni Sanders, ma'am.
What's your name again?
Giovanni Sanders.
Is it Giovanni Malik Sanders?
Yes.
Mr. Sanders, this magistrate at Chattadale, you're defendant one in this case, case number 24060639001, sir. You have an attorney?
Yes, Andrew Roberts appearing
sorry.
on
I don't know, ma'am. Sorry.
on behalf of Mr. Sanders. Your Honor, he's been advised of his rights will stand mute. We ask the court to enter a plea of not guilty on his behalf.
Would enter plea of not guilty. Court dates are December 2nd, 2024. Probable cause conference followed by preliminary examination, December 9th, 2024. Both matters are in front of Judge Giles. Okay, Mr. Sanders. While this
Yes.
case is pending. One, no assault for combative behavior on your part, and you're not possessing any firearms or any other dangerous weapons. You understand that, sir?
Yes.
All right, Counselor Vincent. I see that he has metropolitan ties. Go ahead, Esteban, sir.
Thank you, Magistrate. Steve Vincent, P71917. The problem that the people have with this defendant is he's on double probation right now for CCW. He ended up pleading and then he ended up getting probation in 22, then only to get probation again in 24. And now we have the defendant allegedly caught on video, first looking into people's vehicles right down the road by the LCA, and then checking door handles. And then we have a smash of a car, the back windshield. And when police observe the defendant and two other individuals, he takes flight. He ends up fleeing. Now, fortunately, the police ended up catching this individual and arrested him. But the fact that he's still allegedly committing crimes while he's on, multiple probations is concerning. We're not going to be objecting to a personal bond, Magistrate. I respect the way you see these things in terms of not being assaultive, but there is a level of danger when we have an individual who's on probation and then continually finding himself in the court system. So respectfully asking for monitorization through the pendency of this case.
Question. Do you have anything to indicate on his pending cases that he's failed to appear?
You mean in terms of probation violations?
Yes.
No, I'm not able to see anything in terms of that, Magistrate, so I couldn't tell you one way or another.
Okay, thank you. Counsel Roberts, go ahead, ma'am.
Your Honor, my client indicates being a lifetime resident of the state of Michigan. He's currently living with his grandmother. He's 22 years old, Your Honor. He is working. He works for a landscaping company. He works 9 to 5, I believe 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. daily. So also it's my understanding that he is a high school graduate. So I would just ask if you would consider, I have no objection to the personal bond. I would just ask that you consider not imposing a tether, because that would lead potentially to my client staying in custody longer.
Council Vincent,
Yes, Magistrate.
other than running away, looks like, or running away or not being cooperative with the police, was there any combative behavior?
I didn't see any.
Okay. So we're gonna give Mr. Sanders an opportunity. One, we're gonna let the judges on his probation cases deal with any probation violation matters. Okay. But, so we're gonna give him an opportunity, and we're gonna give him a $50,000 personal bond. I'm not gonna place him on a GPS tether, but we'll see how Mr. Sanders deals with this case in terms of whether or not he's gonna violate or not. The bond conditions are not showing up for court.
Okay. fair enough.
Understand that, Mr. Sanders?
Yes.
Okay. You have one chance, sir, if you violate. So that concludes your arraignment. You can step aside. Gentlemen at EDC, what's your name, sir?
Charles Brown Jr.
Charles Brown?
Yes.
Mr. Brown, this is Magistrate Chadfasser. Not only are you here on a criminal matter, but you're also here on misdemeanor matters. And these misdemeanor matters, where you didn't show up, the court is going to recall the warrants. You're going to get a personal bond. Nobody has to pay any money for you to get out of jail. The maximum penalty is up to 93 days jail and a $500 fine. Let me tell you what the ticket is. P11011159. Driving under a untitled vehicle. No insurance misdemeanor, driver license not valid or improper license. Again, maximum penalty is up to 93 days jail and a $500 fine. For an enter plea of not guilty, court date is December 18, 2024, 9 o'clock. Let's see who's that in front of Judge Yancey. Sir, you have a right to remain silent. Anything you say, orally or writing, it can be used against you in a court of law. Right to an attorney, have that attorney present during questioning. If you're unable to afford an attorney, one will be appointed for you, court expense. Understand those rights, sir?
Yes.
Understand those rights?
Yes.
All right, criminal matter, case number 2005878-201. Please say your full name again. Okay, thank you. You have an attorney. Go ahead, Counsel Roberts.
Counsel Roberts, appearing on behalf of Mr. Brown, has been advised of his rights. Will stand mute. Ask the court to enter a plea of not guilty on his behalf.
Thank you. I'm going to enter a plea of not guilty. Court dates are December 2nd. Let me repeat that. Probable cause conference, December 2nd, 2024. Probable cause conference followed by preliminary examination, December 9th, 2024. Both matters are in front of Judge Jefferson. Mr. Brown, while this case is pending, you're not to possess any firearms or any other dangerous weapons. Also, there's no assault for combative behavior while this case is pending. Understand those bond conditions.
Yes.
I would also indicate on March 22nd, 2021, a warrant was issued for Mr. Brown. Bond was set at $5,000 cash surety. This court doesn't have the authority to modify a felony capious bond. And Counsel Ragnar, you're going to be telling me that you do not represent the people in this case, correct?
That's correct, Your Honor. It's felony case. Thank you.
Thank you. And Counsel Roberts, do you have new information?
No, there's no update to bond, Your Honor.
Okay. So in this case, bond is set at $5,000 cash surety, which is probably unaffordable. Is that correct, Counsel Roberts?
It is, Your Honor.
Mr. Brown, that means you're going to get another court date this Friday. on November 22nd, 2024, 9 o'clock. It's going to be in front of Judge McConaughey or Judge Williams, who's going to look at the bond amount and bond conditions. Understand that, Mr. Brown?
Yeah.
That concludes your arraignment, sir. You can step aside. DDC, stand by. Let's see if Mr. Gillum is ready.
Yes.
Thank you. Sir, Mr. Gillum, please say your full name.
Lamar Keith Gilliam.
All right, Mr. Gilliam, this is Magistrate Chuck Vassar. You're here on a criminal matter. Case number is 190-588-9601. You have an attorney. Go ahead, counsel.
Angela Roberts appearing on behalf of Mr. Gillum. Mr. Gillum's been advised of his rights. Will stay on mute. Ask the court to enter a plea of not guilty on his behalf, Your Honor.
Plea of not guilty. Court date is December 1st, excuse me, January 1st. Let me repeat that again. January 2nd. Again, January 2nd. Probable cause conference, 9 o'clock in front of Judge Giles.
Yes, ma'am.
Have no bond conditions, Counsel Vincent.
Thank you, Magistrate. Steve Benson, P 71917. I have, as of 2019, a current average of $15,795. We're not going to be objecting to a personal bond if good cause is shown. If good cause is shown, I believe the 25% of that is roughly around $4,000.
Okay, Counsel Roberts.
Your Honor, I'm going to ask that the court convert that to a personal bond. My client's not able to post any money for bond at this time. He's 44 years old and indicates being a lifetime resident of the state of Michigan.
Let me ask this question. Has he been previously arraigned or not? Counsel Vincent? Yeah, or Counsel Roberts? Whichever one.
I didn't see any KPS on this case, Your Honor. I'll look again.
No, I can.
No, that's fine. All right, with that being said, charges non-assaultive 2019. This court finds good cause. The bond is going to be $33,500 personal bond. Mr. Gilliam, please go to court when you have to. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
Good luck. You can step aside.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir. DDC, who's next? What's your name?
Richard Scott Humphrey, Jr.
Thank you. Mr. Humphreys, I'm Magistrate Chuck there here in a criminal matter, sir. Case number is 2405864-101, sir. You have an attorney.
Angela Roberts
Counsel
appearing
Roberts.
on behalf of Mr. Humphrey. He's been advised of his rights. Will stay on mute. Ask the court to enter a plea of not guilty on his behalf.
Thank you. I'm going to enter a plea of not guilty. Court dates are December 2nd, 2024. Probable cause conference followed by preliminary examination. December 9th, 2024. Both matters are in front of Judge Giles, Mr. Humphrey, and it's Richard Scott Humphrey Jr., correct, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
While this case is pending, there is no driving of any automobiles, mini bikes, motorcycles, golf carts, lawnmowers, anything that has a motor, either by gas or electricity. Yes, electric or gas, there is no driving. You understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, Councilor Ragland, give me a recommendation. I see that he has local ties, and this is from July 2024.
Yeah, people are asking for a $10,000, 10% cash bond, Your Honor. Able to post bond. We're asking for a tether with home arrest. This incident occurred back on July the 1st, 2024, when he was driving a Dodge Charger that was wanted, and then it was wanted as a felony vehicle, wanted for a burglary. The police gave chase. He took off, and he was able to get away. On 7/31/24, the task force, commercial auto theft section, was able to locate him, and they found him hiding underneath a vehicle in a yard. Your Honor, he has two convictions for the same thing. He's on probation
Okay.
for the same thing, Your Honor. The 41123 fleeing and eluding third, and then 41123 police officer resisting obstructing. He's on bond of 41125 on each matter. So he just goes out and does the same thing another time.
Thank you.
So I believe that protect the public from him driving in the manner in which he does when he gets these, he gets charged with fleeing and looting and resisting, that a $10,000, 10% bond would be appropriate. And if he is able to post it, a tether with home arrest. Thank you.
Thank you.
Your
Council
Honor,
Roberts?
respectfully ask for a personal bond. As the court can see, this incident date as alleged goes back to July 1st. It appears that the complaint was signed on August 5th, 2024. My client is 28 years old. He currently lives with his parents that he indicates he takes care of. He's indicating being a lifetime resident of the city of Detroit. And at this time, Your Honor, he's not able to post any money for bond. He does have a GED. I would just ask that the court consider giving him a personal bond. I understand what Attorney Ragnan has indicated. However, there is some age to this case, Your Honor. And this appears to be the first arraignment. My client indicates he was arrested 2 to 3 months ago and was released after 72 hours on this matter.
And Council Roberts, is it fair to say that he is on probation for fleeing and eluding?
Your Honor, unfortunately, well, I can say this. My client indicates that he was not on any probation or parole. So I heard that the prosecution said that, but my client had indicated to us that he was not on any probation. So I would have to ask Attorney Ragnan for more information because that's not what I have.
Council Ragnan, go ahead.
Yes, I've researched this. I found this through TVK and so on, Your Honor. So, I mean, I'm sure they're up to date as to where the case is. But I don't know what to tell you, Ms. Roberts, except I believe he's on probation for 2 charges.
He's on probation out of Macomb County?
Yes. I failed to mention that, and I'm sorry.
Okay. Out of Macomb County, resisting, obstructing, as well as fleeing and eluding.
Yeah. Fleeing and eluding third.
Thank you.
Your Honor, my client is raising his hand. I don't know if the court would entertain a brief breakout room with my client so that I can try to address whatever it is that he's attempting to tell the court before he tells the court, Your Honor.
Does he want to answer the question, counsel? You want to ask your client as to that?
Mr. Humphrey, I see you raising your hand. I saw you raising your hand a couple times. Was there something that you wanted to add, not about any allegations on these cases, but simply as it relates to current probation status?
Yes, ma'am. I was on probation before my last time I was locked up. I was inside Macomb County. When I was released, I was under the assumption that I was off of probation because I had violated probation. I did a county year. So at the point of being released, I was shipped to Wayne County. When Wayne County, I talked to the sergeant before I left and said, "You're not under any probation under any sort." I did a county year.
Okay.
Thank you. So perhaps that will help clarify as to why my client indicated to us what he did, Your Honor. It was his assumption, it sounds like, that he wasn't.
Thank you. And Council Ragnar, did you want to respond to anything else or not?
No, yeah, I just wasn't aware he'd done a year in jail, but the fact remains that he continues with the same
Okay,
type of
that's all I wanted to know. If you wanted to respond with anything new.
Nothing new.
Thank you. Court's heard the representations, both sides. Court uses clear and convincing evidence standard, and it's entertaining monetary bond. The thing that the court is concerned about is that he has a history of fleeing and eluding or fleeing, okay, in this particular matter. The court finds that he is a danger. So whether or not he was on probation and the case was concluded, okay, allegedly he picks up another case. However, we're going to give him a chance. We're going to give him a $50,000 personal bond, but we are going to place him on a GPS tether. And counsel, does he work?
Are you currently employed, Mr. Humphrey? Are you actually working right now? I know that he works on cars, Your Honor.
At the moment, I currently freelance. It's kind of hard for me to work a 9 to 5 job. I have 2 parents that I take care of. About 3 years ago, they were hit by a drunk driver. So in the midst of trying to take care of them and get back and forth without a license, it's kind of hard for me to physically get a job. But if you want to make it a recommendation, I have no problem trying to please the court.
Could he at least have a curfew?
Physically get
Could he at least have a curfew, Your Honor, since he's indicating he's taking care of his parents? I don't know if that will require him to, leave the house and get possibly things for them and things of that nature.
If he'd been caring for his parents for a few years, I don't know how he got involved with fleeing from 2023, as well as that he did some time in the county jail. So now we're going to place him on $50,000 personal bond, GPS tether, house arrest. That concludes the arraignment on Mr. Humphrey.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Gentlemen at DDC, what's your name, sir?
Harold Dawson.
Mr. Dawson, this magistrate at Charter, sir, not only here on a criminal matter, but you're also here on misdemeanor matters. Looks like one. And misdemeanor matter where you did not show up to court, court is going to recall the warrant. You're going to get a personal bond on this misdemeanor matter. Maximum penalty on each misdemeanor matter is up to 93 days jail and or $500 fine. We're going to enter a plea of not guilty. And case number is P1265736, driver's license expired. Court date is December 19, 2024, 9 a.m. Let's see who's that in front of. Judge Sherman. Mr. Dawson, you have a right to remain silent. Anything you say, orally or writing, that can be used against you in a court of law. Right to an attorney, have that attorney present during questioning. If you're unable to afford an attorney, one will be appointed for you, court expense. Understand those rights, sir?
Yeah.
Okay, now let's go with the criminal matter. Case number is Q204485901. You have an attorney. Go ahead, counsel.
Andrew Roberts appearing on behalf of Mr. Dawson, who's been advised of his rights, will stand mute, ask the court to enter a plea of not guilty on his behalf, Your Honor.
Thank you. I'm going to enter a plea of not guilty. Court dates are December 4th, retrial in front of Judge Bryant. Mr. Dawson, while this case is pending, you're not to have any contact with the Elisha Wilson. That means no person-to-person contact, no contact to third parties, no phone calls, no emails, no text messaging. You're not to go back to the Burnside residence. You're not to possess any firearms or any other dangerous weapons. You understand that? Do you understand all the bond conditions?
Yeah.
Okay, this is from 2021. Counsel Ragland, go ahead, Esteban, please.
We're asking for $50,000 personal bond. We're also asking for a tether, Your Honor, house arrest. I know this case was from 2021, but it's a very disturbing case to be stopped. This defendant was fired by the complaining witness, who was a supervisor for a security company, for sleeping on the job. In reading her statement and so on, he said he had 10 to 12 chances to try to not sleep and to do what he was told to do, and apparently failed to do it. So she fired him. After that, he started stalking her, texting her, calling her over 40 times, saying, "I'm going to blow up your house."
I got all that, counsel, because that's from the investigator's report, correct?
Yeah, I do. Yes, I do not know of anything that's happened since then, but all I do know.
That's what I wanted to know. Thank you.
You're welcome. So I'm asking for the personal bond with a tether with a curfew, if it works, just for protection of her going forward. Since the case now has been brought against him, we don't know how he's going to respond with that. Thank you.
Okay. Council Roberts, go ahead, Esteban, please.
No objection to personal bond. I'd ask that you not impose any additional monitoring. It's my understanding the complaining witness is a former boss of Mr. Dawson's, and as the court's aware, this goes back to 2021, Your Honor. It's my understanding Mr. Dawson is 42 years old, that he's a father of 6, that he is currently residing with his mother. He's not able to post any money for bond at this time. He is currently working. I believe he's been doing his current job for 3 months, Your Honor. I would just ask for no contact provision. I believe that would be appropriate and should be sufficient in this matter from 2021.
Okay. Court heard the representations. Court has not heard that anything new has happened since 2021. So, Mr. Dawson, you're going to get a $50,000 personal bond. Court is not going to be placed a tether on you. However, understand if you violate any of the bond conditions, even if the complaint wants to talk to you, but if you violate, next time it's going to be a monetary bond. Do you understand all that, sir?
Yes.
Go to court when you have to, sir. Again, bond is 50,000, 50. You can step aside, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Charlie Denson. Charlie Lee Denson.
What's your full name, sir?
Charlie Lee Denson.
Is it Charlie Lee Denson?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Denson, I'm Magistrate Chartea, here criminal matter, case number 24060525001, sir. You do have an attorney. Go ahead, counsel.
Antoine Roberts appearing on behalf of Mr. Denson. He's been advised of his rights. We'll stay on mute. We ask the court to enter a plea of not guilty on his behalf, Your Honor.
Thank you. I'm going to enter a plea of not guilty. Court dates are December 3rd, 2024. It is a probable cause conference followed by preliminary examination, December 10th, 2024. Both matters are in front of Judge Taylor. Mr. Denson, while this case is pending, no firearms of any kind or other dangerous weapons, no ammunition of any kind. Do you understand those bond conditions, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
That being said, Counsel Coyle, go ahead, Esteban, please.
Your Honor, the IR reads very assaultive, but the complainant refused to prosecute. So we are left with the weapons charges. I do note that a search warrant was executed 10 days later. There was a gun recovered, and this was resubmitted as to the gun only. So based on his prior record, which shows a 2017 felony firearm discharge from a motor vehicle, which he received 3 to 15 plus 2. He was discharged from parole October 4th of 23. I do note it is non-assaultive in this matter, Your Honor. I'm requesting a $50,000 personal bond.
No objection, Your Honor.
Thank you. Mr. Dennison, you're getting a 50,000, 5000 personal bond, meaning nobody has to pay any money for you to get out of jail. However, sir, if you violate the bond conditions, sir, next time you may be looking at a monetary bond. Do you understand that, Mr. Dennison?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, that concludes your arraignment. You can step aside.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Sir, what's your name?
Marico Kyrese Haddon.
I'm sorry, say that again.
Marico Kyrese Haddon.
Mr. Haddon, this is Magistrate Chartea, sir. Not only are you here on a criminal matter, we're also here on misdemeanor matter. The misdemeanor matter, we did not show up for court. And we didn't show up for court. The court issued a warrant for your arrest. So you're getting a personal bond. Court is recalling the warrant. The maximum penalty on this misdemeanor is up to 93 days jail and or $500 fine. Court is going to enter a plea of not guilty. Ticket number is P16180002. Entering vacant dwelling without owner's written authorization. The court date is December 18, 2024, 9 o'clock. Let's see who's this in front of. In front of Judge Millhouse. So, Mr. Haddon, Haddon, you have a right to remain silent. Anything you say, orally or writing, it can be used against you in a court of law. Rights to an attorney have that attorney present during questioning. If you're unable to afford an attorney, one will be appointed for you, court expense. Understand those rights?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. Now, let's go criminal matter. Case number is 240-606-4201. You have an attorney. Go ahead, counsel.
Sandra Roberts appearing on behalf of Mr. Haddon, who's been advised of his rights, will stand mute, ask the court to enter a plea of not guilty on his behalf.
Enter plea of not guilty. Court dates are December 2nd, 2024. Probable cause conference followed by preliminary examination, December 9th, 2024. Both matters are in front of Judge Giles. Mr. Haddon, bond conditions, no firearms of any kind or any other dangerous weapons, no ammunition of any kind. Do you understand those bond conditions?
Yes, Your Honor.
That being said, he has local ties. This is from November 2024. Counsel Coyle, go ahead, Esteban, please.
Yes, Your Honor, non-assaultive. His last conviction, I note, was 2016 for felonious assault and a possession. No objection to a $10,000 personal bond. This was a traffic stop.
No objection, Your Honor.
Thank you. Mr. Haddon, you're gonna get a $10,000 personal bond. Nobody has paid money for you to get out of jail. Just go to court, handle your matter, sir. That concludes your arraignment. You can step aside.
Alton
Sir, what's your name?
Alton Faison, Your Honor.
Okay. Let's see. Alton Lee Faison Jr.
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. Sir, this magistrate at Chadha, you're here on a criminal matter. Let's see. Case number is 24-240-6057-403. You are defendant 3 in this case. You have an attorney, sir. Go ahead, counsel.
Sandra Roberts appearing on behalf of Mr. Faison, who's been advised of his rights, will stand mute, ask the court to enter a plea of not guilty on his behalf.
Thank you. I'm gonna enter plea of not guilty. Court dates are, we have December 2nd, 2024, probable cause conference, followed by preliminary examination, December 9th, 2024. Mr. Faison, while this case is pending, you're not to have contact with a Deanna Ruda and Lamar Logan. That means no person-to-person contact, no contact with third parties, no phone calls, no emails, no text messaging. You're not to possess any firearms or any other dangerous weapons. Let's see what else. And you're not to go back to the Auburn residence. You understand those bond conditions, sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. That being said, Counsel Ragnan, go ahead, Esteban, give me a recommendation.
Yeah, people are asking for a remand in this case. Very assaultive armed robbery. You've already arraigned 2 other people in this case, Miss Carlitha Price, which you gave a $500,000 bond to, and Mr. Lawrence Moore, who you did remand because you said he did more than Miss Price. This defendant did several times more assaultive behavior. They went into the residence that Mr.
Counsel Ragnan, I read the allegation. The allegation in the investigator's report shows that he is the one that had a firearm and made statements about shooting somebody in the head.
Fired a gun over their head 2 feet away from him, shot it over his head. He said, "I should have killed you." He slapped Miss Ruda in the face. He threw hot coffee in Mr. Lamar's face. He then put Mr. Lamar in a car with the other all 5 of the people that were involved, plus Mr. Lamar with no shirt or shoes on, to drive to an ATM machine. They took money. Mr. Moore took $350 from Miss Ruda's card. He got out of the car and took $600 from the machine, Your Honor, as well. So very assaultive, terrible matter, and we're asking for nothing short of remand, Your Honor. Thank you.
Thank you. Counsel Roberts, go ahead, ma'am.
Your Honor, I respectfully ask that you consider a personal bond for Mr. Faison. He's not able to post any money for bond. He does work, he does roofing, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m., but his days do vary. Your Honor, he indicates that he's 35 years old. It's my understanding that he's a father of one. He lives with the child and the mother of the child. He indicates being a lifetime resident of the city of Detroit. While I do understand what the allegations are before the court, I do want to let the court know that Mr. Faison maintains that he does not know the co-defendants and was never at the Auburn address. I respectfully ask you to take into consideration his position in this matter when assessing the bond and consider giving him a personal bond with no contact, Your Honor.
And I need to add one new point, if I may. The Miss
Go ahead.
Price, who received a $500,000 cash bond, at the redetermination, her bond was raised to remand. The other two
Thank you.
defendants are on remand as well. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, court's heard the representations, both sides, uses clear and convincing evidence standard when it's entertaining a monetary bond or remand status, which is no bond. We started off with personal bond basis. He is charged at minimum count 1, which is armed robbery, as defendant 3. Court read the allegations in the particular matter regarding, the actions of Mr. Faison. This court does believe not only that he's been identified as the one with the firearm. This court finds that Mr. Faison is a danger. He's going to be remanded under court rule 6.106 because the court believes under this that his guilt is evident or presumption great. Remand status, no bond, no monetary bond.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. That concludes. Okay.
Robert Allen.
Okay. Is it Robert Jr. Allen, sir?
Yes, Your Honor, Robert Jr. Allen.
Sir, I'm magistrate interrupt there. You're here on a criminal matter, sir. Case number is 24045973001, sir. You have an attorney. Go ahead, counsel.
Amber Roberts appearing on behalf of Mr. Allen, who's been advised of his rights, will stand mute. Ask the court to enter a plea of not guilty on his behalf.
Thank you. I'm gonna enter a plea of not guilty. Court date is December 4th, 2024, pre-trial in front of Judge Jones. Mr. Allen, some bond conditions. 1, you're not to possess any firearms or any other dangerous weapons. 2, you're not to have contact with Dewan, Tyrese, Cornelius, Stafford. That means no person-to-person contact, no contact to third parties, no phone calls, no emails, no text messaging. Let's see if anything else. Yes. Okay, Counselor Bragnon, give me a recommendation on this matter.
They're asking for $10,000, 10% bond. If he's able to post bond, we're asking for tether with home arrest. This incident occurred, Your Honor, I know you're familiar with it, when the police responded to a felonious assault case. They did see the defendant sitting by a barbecue. When the police arrived, the complaining witness came out of the residence and said, he's pulled a gun out and pointed at me and told me he was going to kill me. The police arrested him. They did not find a gun. However, there was a witness who sent them a video, and it shows this defendant pulling a gun out and pointing it at the complaining witness. Extensive criminal record going all the way back to 1989, CSC 3rd, juvenile, 95, aggravated assault, delivery of a controlled substance, 50 grams in 2000, 2011, a malicious destruction of police and fire property, 2008, malicious destruction of police and fire property, and in 2008 also domestic violence, 3rd offense, knowing or assaulting a pregnant person. Assault to past, I believe that the cash bond is necessary in this action, Your Honor, so I'm asking for the 10,000, 10% tether home arrest. Thank you.
Thank you.
Your Honor,
Counselor Roberts, go ahead.
This particular charge before the court is a misdemeanor allegation. Your Honor, it's my understanding the complaining witness is a person who was visiting a neighbor of whom my client indicates he gets along with the neighbors. As the investigator report indicates no handgun was found on the defendant at the time of the arrest. My client's not able to post any money for bond, Your Honor. It's my understanding that he currently is receiving government assistance. And he is concerned that his stuff will be on the street if he's not out today, because he's currently in the process of moving out and being evicted. So we do ask the court to take into consideration his inability to post bond, as well as his urgency and his stuff being put on the street if he's not out of jail today. Also, Your Honor, he indicates that he was arrested at home. It's my understanding he lives with his wife, and he is a father of 10, also has 6 grandchildren, and is a lifetime resident of the state of Michigan. Your Honor, he indicates to us that this is a situation in which he had to keep telling the complaining witness to leave him alone. So we're just asking that you take into consideration everything before the court today and consider a personal bond with no contact. Again, it's my understanding the complaining witness is somebody visiting a neighbor of which Mr. Allen gets along with, the neighbors of which he gets along with.
Thank you. Court's heard the representation both sides. Court also read the allegations in the investigative report. Is that allegations that there is a video showing that Mr. Allen is holding out a firearm sitting on the interior steps of the location. Then he's walking out of camera view. However, we're going to give him a chance, but it's going to be tempered because we still see Mr. Allen as a danger. He's going to get a $10,000 personal bond. He's also going to have a GPS tether house arrest. That concludes the arraignment of Mr. Allen.
Is there any way you will reconsider that tether only because of his urgency, Your Honor, and his current situation of being evicted and moving out and his stuff being on the street if he's not out today? So I think that would show the court if he's got to move, then he'd be relocating and farther away from, hopefully, and correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. Allen, but if you're moving from that location, you'd be away from those neighbors where the complaining witness comes to. Isn't that correct?
Yes, yes, that is correct.
Thank you. And so while I do understand what the court is looking at, again, my client's maintaining that this was a situation where the complaining witness kept coming on to him, and he had to tell them to leave him alone. And so obviously, you know, I think there's more going on here than what's just listed in the investigator's report, Your Honor. And I'm not getting into what really happened at this point, but I'm just wanting the court to be aware, you know, of everything, things that my client's saying as to what's going on in the situation. I know this is just the arraignment, so we're not going to go any further into what really happened, but I'm just asking you to reconsider that tether, Your Honor.
Well, counsel, I did consider, and I still find him a danger. I can give him a monetary bond, and so that he can go for bond redetermination, Counsel Roberts. Do you want that?
No, Your Honor, because he can't post any money for bond. I just don't want him to be stuck in jail, though.
Okay, I understand that, but the court does, by giving him a personal bond, we do believe he is a danger, but to ensure, or at least give the possibility that he's being monitored, that's why we're giving him a GPS tether house arrest. That concludes the arraignment of Mr. Allen.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Thank you. Did he see that, all the mails? DDC, I'll see you on the male, on the female side.
Have a seat. Say the full name.
Angelique Renee Barker.
Ms. Barker, this is Magistrate Chatham, ma'am. You're here on a criminal matter. Case number is 24060-64101. You have an attorney. Go ahead, counsel.
Annabelle Roberts appearing on behalf of Ms. Barker, who's been advised of her rights, will stay on mute. Ask the court to enter a plea of not guilty on her behalf.
Thank you. I'm going to plea of not guilty. And it's Angelique Renee Barker, ma'am.
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you, ma'am. I'm going to enter a plea of not guilty. Court dates are December 2nd, 2024, probable cause conference, by preliminary examination, December 9th, 2024. Both matters are in front of Judge Taylor. Ms. Barker, while this case is pending, there is no driving of any automobiles, motorcycles, mini bikes. You understand that, ma'am?
Yes, I do, Your Honor.
Okay. Counsel Vincent, go ahead, ask the bond, please.
Thank you, Magistrate. We're not going to be objecting to a personal. However, we are going to be asking for monitorization, as well as either curfew or home arrest. Ms. Barker was just arraigned in this courtroom 2 days ago for the same charge, as well as an R&O. The offense date in that particular matter was 11/16 of 24. She was arraigned 2 days later. This incident allegedly occurred 8 days prior to that. Now, Magistrate, just to be very brief with this, in the most recent incident that she was arraigned on, she was fleeing from the police and she crashed into a tree. She was arrested, got arraigned on that. Now she's getting arraigned on this matter. In this particular matter, she's fleeing from the police, driving recklessly upwards and over 50 miles an hour in a residential 25-mile-an-hour zone, and then almost hits a police car. They stopped their pursuit, and then they picked her up that subsequent time, recognized her from this time. So I'm sorry to be long-winded with this. We do feel as though there's a danger that this defendant's posing, whether or not you issue a condition of no driving. She just continues to do this. So we're asking for monitorization.
What was her prior bond or pending case bond?
I believe that Magistrate Ramsey Heath ended up giving a $50,000 personal without knowing about this incident.
Okay. Counsel Roberts, go ahead, ma'am.
So, Your Honor, I'm going to ask for the same bond, the $50,000 personal bond or any amount personal bond. My client's 55 years old. Your Honor, she's not able to post any money for bond. She receives government assistance. Your Honor, my client does have some medical conditions of which she's not receiving medication for. I am going to ask that her file be marked medical. And I am going to ask the court to consider letting her out of jail without having to post any money because she can't afford any money for bond. She's a mother of one. She's a lifetime resident of the state of Michigan, Your Honor.
Thank you. First of all, court's heard the allegations or read the allegations in the investigative report. Also, court's heard the arguments for both sides. One, she's going to get a $50,000 personal bond. However, along with that, DDC marker file medical. She's also going to be getting a GPS tether house arrest. Court does find that Ms. Barker is a danger, especially to the community, allegedly driving residential areas, exceeding the speed limit, $50,000 personal bond with a GPS tether house arrest, and no driving. Put that on. That concludes Ms. Barker's arraignment.
This way, this way.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Your Honor, I know we switched to the female side, but can we still ask DDC to mark Robert Allen's file medical? The court gave him a tether, so he's still going to be in custody.
DDC.
Yes, Your Honor.
Can you mark Mr. Robert Allen medical?
Copy that, Your Honor. Copy that.
Thank you so much, Your Honor.
Thank you, ma'am. The young lady at DDC, what's your name, ma'am?
Shantia Riley. Also found me.
Sorry, what's your last name?
Brady also found me.
Shantia.
Shantia Yes.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am. Ma'am, this is Magistrate Chartea. Oh, Miss, let's see, Rayleigh. Okay. You have two criminal matters. Let's see. One's misdemeanor, one is a felony. The misdemeanor matter is 0905706301. Let's see what that is. That is stalking from 2009. There is a capias from July 26, 2024, $1,000, 10%. The other one, case number felony, is 240-5568201. It is a felony. And let's see, charges carrying concealed weapon. Capias is from July 15, 2024, $1,000, 10%. So, please say your full name again, ma'am.
Brady. I also go by Farm for last name.
Ma'am, you have an attorney. Go ahead, counsel.
Jennifer Roberts appearing on behalf of Ms. Bombi. It's my understanding, formerly known as Rayleigh, which is her maiden name. She's been advised of her rights. We'll stay on mute. We ask the court to enter a plea of not guilty on her behalf.
Thank you. I'm gonna enter a plea of not guilty on both matters. Misdemeanor matter is December 4, 2024. It is a pretrial in front of Judge Bryant. Okay. I will also indicate bond conditions. Not to have any contact with Anticia Jelks. That means no person-to-person contact, no contact with third parties, no phone calls, no emails, no text messaging. Again, KPS $1,000, 10%. On the felony, enter plea of not guilty. Court dates are November 27, 2024, probable cause conference, followed by preliminary examination, December 4, 2024. Miss Lisa? Miss Rayleigh. She has a misdemeanor in front of Judge Bryant, court date, and she has an exam court date in front of Judge Robbins. Can we give her another court date, December 4th, or not? Miss Rayleigh. For the felony. Unless you want to change the misdemeanor.
The misdemeanor is supposed to be December the, who is that, Judge Bryant?
Yeah.
December the 4th.
Okay, and Judge Robbins?
December. No, November 27th and, oh, I see what you're saying. No, but Judge Robbins would be 12/2 and 12/9.
All right, so court dates for the felony, December 2nd, 2024, probable cause conference, followed by preliminary examination, December 9th, 2024, in front of Judge Robbins. Ms. Rayleigh, you're not to possess any firearms or any other dangerous weapons. You understand that, ma'am?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. And there is capias from July 15, 2024, $1,000, 10%. The court doesn't have the authority to modify a felony capias, a felony capias bond. So, Counsel Ragnar, why don't you start off with the misdemeanor?
Your Honor, the people are appearing on that. We're going to ask, even with the 2009 case, he's obviously has not turned herself in or taken care of this in in 5 years. We're going to, oh, I'm sorry, 2009, my goodness. We're going to just ask that the bond remain in place of the 1,000%.
Counsel Roberts, go ahead, ask the bond, please.
I'm slightly confused by that because the capias on the misdemeanor was July 24, 2024. So it's not, although she hasn't been recently before the court. However, she indicates that she missed court for that case because she got on Zoom but was never let in. Obviously, Your Honor, I understand that that's still not an appearance, but I would just ask that the court consider a personal bond. When we get to the felony case, we have no update to that bond, so I believe that bond has to remain as is. And my client at this time is not able to post any money for bond. Your Honor, she's a mother of 6, one being a newborn, and lives with her children and a friend. She's 32 years old. She is currently working, Your Honor. Her days and hours vary. She's a high school graduate, so I would just ask that you consider a personal bond on this matter.
Okay. On the stalking case, is something new, Council Ragnan?
I believe that her 1118 warrant wasn't not submitted until after her other case. So I'm not
Thank
sure.
you. Okay. For the misdemeanor matter, courts heard the representations. There's more than one capias in this particular matter, but I'm going to give her a chance. I'm going to give her $1,000 personal bond. And this is from, I believe, 2009, so more than 10 years ago. Yeah. $1,000 personal bond. All right. And as to the felony capias bond, Council Ragnan, you don't represent the people, correct?
Correct, Your Honor.
Okay, so that being said, and there is no update, is that correct, Council Roberts?
That's correct, Your Honor.
So bond is gonna stay the same, $1,000, 10%. No firearms of any kind, Israeli. So that means you gotta get another court date for this Friday, November 22nd, 2024, 9 o'clock in front of Judge McConnell Court. Judge Williams will look at the bond amount and bond conditions. You understand that, ma'am?
Yes, I do.
Thank you. That concludes your arraignment, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Magistrate, could you let Ms. Coyle in? She's in the waiting room. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Say your full name.
Last name is Brown, ma'am?
Graham, Graham.
Graham. Okay.
Yes.
Thank you. Ms. Graham, this is Magistrate Chapea, ma'am. Let's see where, here we go. Ms. Graham, you're here at criminal matter, case number 24045235002. You're defendant 2 in this case. You have an attorney. Go ahead, counsel.
Deandra Roberts, appearing on behalf of Ms. Brown, has been advised of her rights. Will stand mute. We ask the court to enter a plea of not guilty on her behalf.
An enter plea of not guilty. The court date is December 4, 2024. Pretrial in front of Judge Bryant. Ms. Graham, while this case is pending, bond conditions, you are not to have contact with Dentrius Hill Harris. That means no person-to-person contact, no contact with third parties, no phone calls, no emails, no text messaging. You are not to possess any firearms or any other dangerous weapons. Do you understand those bond conditions, ma'am?
Yes.
Also, let's see, and you're not to have contact with the location of 1450 Elijah McCoy Drive in Detroit. You understand those bond conditions, ma'am?
Yes.
Okay. All right, Counsel Vincent, go ahead, Esteban, please.
Thank you, Magistrate. Yeah, you covered the people's concerns on this. You can see that she's defendant 2. There's another defendant, but that defendant hasn't been arraigned either. So at this time, we're not going to be objecting to a personal, no priors charged as a misdemeanor.
Okay, bond in this case is going to be $5,000 personal bond. This is already knowing that Counsel Roberts is going to be asking for a personal bond. So Ms. Graham, nobody has paid money for you to get out of jail. Do you understand that, ma'am?
Can you repeat that? I couldn't hear, ma'am.
Your bond is $5,000 personal bond. Nobody has to pay any money for you to get out of jail. Understand that bond, the bond conditions, and, excuse me, as well as the bond amount. $5,000 personal bond.
Yes.
Okay, good luck, ma'am. You can step aside.
All right, I'll just wait too. Your Honor, I'll be right back with Ms. Wilkerson and Ms. Brown.
I'm sorry, say that again?
I think he said he would be right back with Wilkerson
Okay.
and Brown. Yeah.
Thank you.
This one?
All right, so tomorrow, first up. Have a seat at the town chair. Say your full name.
Cheyenne Brown.
Ms. Brown, this is Magistrate Chadzaya, ma'am. You're here on a criminal matter, case number, and you are defendant two in this case. Case number is 24060639002, ma'am. You have an attorney. Go ahead, counsel.
Counselor Roberts appearing on behalf of Ms. Brown. She's been advised of her rights. Will stand mute. We ask the court to enter a plea of not guilty on her behalf.
Thank you. I'm gonna enter plea of not guilty. Court dates are December 2nd, 2024, probable cause conference, followed by preliminary examination, December 9th, 2024. Both matters are, Ms. Lisa.
Yes.
Ms. Brown is only charged with carrying a concealed weapon, 2 counts. Is she going to Judge Robbins or no? Because she is defendant 2.
If it's 2 CCWs, they go to Roberts.
Okay. Same court dates.
It's on the same file?
It's on the same file with a defendant who doesn't have a CCW.
Right, but she's charged with CCW.
Yes, so do we have the same court dates, December 2nd and December 9th?
Yeah,
Okay,
no, her dates are.
Gonna be different?
What is Judge Roberts' date?
I don't know.
11/27 and 12/4.
Okay,
What's her name? I don't know, ask Took stuff. Wait before you change it. But no, it's, I'm about to tell them that that's the case of, that's the thing you said.
okay. So Ms. Brown is going in front of Judge Robbins and the court dates December 11th, November 27th and December 4th. Is that right? Okay, all right, Ms. Brown. Bond, first of all, court dates. Make sure that you have these. November 27th, 2024, probable cause conference, followed by preliminary examination, December 4th, 2024. Both matters are in front of Judge Robbins. And while this case is pending, you are not to possess any firearms or any other dangerous weapons. You understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right, Counsel Vincent, go ahead, Esteban, please.
Thank you, Magistrate. Steve Vincent for the people, P71917. You're familiar with the particulars on this. As you just said, she's the code D to, I believe it was Mr. Sanders, allegedly breaking into a vehicle. She was found with 2 guns. It's a serious charge, but it's non-assaultive. Unlike her co-defendant, she isn't on probation or multiple probations. Judge, we're going to leave it up to you, but just to refresh your recollection, the code D got a $50,000 personal bond.
Okay, all right, thank you. All right, Ms. Brown, you're gonna get a you're gonna get a $15,000, 15000 personal bond. Nobody has to pay any money for you to get out of jail. Do you understand those, the bond amount and bond conditions, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am, I do understand.
Okay. And we already know that Counselor Roberts is gonna be asking for a personal bond. So $15,000 personal bond, no firearms. That concludes your arraignment, ma'am. You can step aside.
This way, Shine. Have a seat, chair, so your full name.
Asisha Wilkerson.
What's your full name, including your middle name, ma'am?
Asisha Sharetta Wilkerson.
Thank you. Ms. Wilkerson, this is Magistrate Echavarria. Not only do you have a criminal matter, but you also have misdemeanor matters. These are where you did not show up to court. We're gonna recall your warrant. You're gonna get a personal bond. Nobody has to pay any money for you to get out of jail. The maximum penalty on each misdemeanor is up to 93 days jail and or $500 fine. Let me tell you what misdemeanors are. P 1266571. Driving unregistered untitled vehicle, no insurance misdemeanor, driving while license suspended. And the last ticket is P 1316179, driving while license suspended. Court date is January 6, 2025, 9:00. It is a pre-trial. Let's see who is that in front of. Judge King. Ms. Wilkerson, you have a right to remain silent. Anything you say orally or in writing, it can be used against you in a court of law. Right to an attorney, have that attorney present during questioning. If you're unable to afford an attorney, one will be appointed to you, court expense. Understand those rights, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, criminal matter, case number is 210-450-8401. You do have an attorney. Go ahead, Counsel Roberts.
Catherine Roberts appearing on behalf of Ms. Wilkerson. She's been advised of her rights. Will stay on mute. Ask the court to enter a plea of not guilty on her behalf.
Gonna enter plea of not guilty. Court date is December 4, 2024. Review court date in front of Judge Bryant. Okay, Ms. Wilkerson, while this case is pending, there is no drinking of any alcoholic beverages, no buying, no selling, no possessing. There's no driving of any automobiles, motorcycles, mini bikes, any ATVs. Understand those bond conditions, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, this is from 2021. There's a capias from October 6, 2022. Counsel Coyle, go ahead, ask the bond, please.
Lisa Coyle appearing on behalf of the people. Your Honor, on October 6th, this is a fully adjudicated matter. She's been sentenced. The bond was set at 110%, and the only failure to appear I see in that record. I do not have a problem. This is on her, so she can close out her matter completely. So I have no problem with personal.
No objection, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Wilkerson, take care of your matter. I'm gonna give you $100 personal bond. Nobody has to pay any money for you to get out of jail. But please take care of your matter. Otherwise, you may be looking next time at a monetary bond, and you may not get next time a personal bond. Understand that, ma'am? Good luck. That concludes the arraignment, ma'am. DDC, anything else?
I just
Or
need
see
to
you
make
this
sure,
afternoon.
Your Honor, Ms. Wilkerson does need medical attention when she's not receiving. So even though she got a personal bond, can we still just ask that they mark her file medical?
DDC, can you mark Ms. Wilkerson's file medical?
Your Honor.
Copy, Your Honor.
Thank you.